The champagne flutes clinked like tiny bells throughout the garden, but to Maria Torres, each sound felt like a reminder that she didn't belong. She stood at the edge of the wedding reception, her 6-year-old daughter Sophia clinging to her hand, watching couples glide across the makeshift dance floor beneath strings of fairy lights. The invitation had said +1, but Maria's +1 had walked out of their lives 2 years ago, leaving nothing but unpaid bills and a daughter who still asked why Daddy didn't come home anymore. "Mommy, can we sit down?" Sophia tugged at her mother's simple navy dress, the only one nice enough for a wedding, though Maria had stayed up past midnight the night before sewing a torn seam. "Of course, baby." Maria scanned the reception area, her chest tightening. Every table was marked with elegant calligraphy cards indicating reserved seating. Every seat seemed to have a jacket draped over it, a purse claiming territory, a wedding program saved by someone's date. She'd been to weddings before, back when life was different, when she had someone to laugh with during toasts and slow dance with when the DJ played those achingly romantic songs. Now, she was just a woman who'd made the mistake of RSVPing yes to her college roommate's wedding without fully considering what attending alone would feel like. A woman in a lavender dress glanced at Maria and Sophia hovering near a table, then quickly placed her clutch on the empty chair beside her. The message was clear. No room here. Maria's face burned with humiliation, but she forced a smile for Sophia's sake. "Let's try over there," she whispered, guiding her daughter toward another table. But the pattern repeated, subtle head shakes, chairs pulled closer together, eyes that looked everywhere but at her. She understood their logic. Wedding seating was carefully orchestrated. She was the variable that didn't fit the equation, the single mother who might disrupt the symmetry of couples. Sophia's hand was getting sweaty in hers. "Mommy, my feet hurt." "I know, sweetheart. Just a little longer." Maria's voice cracked slightly. She was blinking too fast, fighting tears that had no business appearing at someone else's celebration. Maybe they should just leave. She could text the bride later, make up an excuse about Sophia not feeling well. It wouldn't even be entirely a lie. Her daughter's face was flushed, probably from standing for so long in her little white patent leather shoes. "Excuse me?" The voice came from behind her, deep and gentle. "I believe you're looking for these seats." Maria turned to find a man in an impeccably tailored charcoal suit standing beside a table near the rose garden. He was tall, with silver, threading through his dark hair and eyes that held something she couldn't quite name. Kindness, maybe, or recognition of a shared human moment. "His table had 2 empty chairs. Maria hesitated. "I don't want to intrude. Are you expecting someone?" "I was," he said, and something flickered across his face. "But plans changed. Please, I insist." He pulled out a chair for Sophia, who looked up at her mother with hopeful eyes. Maria's pride battled with her exhaustion, pride lost. "Thank you," she managed, helping Sophia into the chair before taking the one beside her. "That's very kind of you." "I'm James," he said, extending his hand as he returned to his own seat. His handshake was firm but brief, professional. "Maria, and this is Sophia." "Hi," Sophia said shyly, then immediately became fascinated by the origami swan folded from her napkin. James smiled at the little girl, then turned his attention to Maria. "I'm guessing you know the bride?" "College roommate." "You?" "Groom's family friend. I've known his father for years, business connection that became personal." He paused, signaling a waiter to bring water for Sophia. "Are you enjoying the wedding?" Maria appreciated that he didn't mention what he'd just witnessed. Her desperate search for somewhere to belong. "It's beautiful. Claire always dreamed of a garden wedding." The reception flowed around them. Dinner was served. Herb-crusted salmon and roasted vegetables that Sophia picked at while Maria encouraged her to eat. James was easy to talk to, asking, questions that seemed genuinely interested rather than politely obligatory. He learned that Maria worked 2 jobs, one as a medical receptionist and another doing bookkeeping from home after Sophia went to bed. She learned that he ran some kind of investment company, though he was vague about the details in a way that suggested he was tired of talking about work. "Would you like to dance?" James asked when the DJ started playing something slow and sweet. Maria glanced at Sophia, who was drawing pictures on the back of a wedding program with a crayon borrowed from another child's table. "I should stay with... I'll watch her," an elderly woman at their table offered, smiling warmly. "You go on, dear. I raised 4 children. I've got this." On the dance floor, James kept a respectful distance, one hand lightly at her waist, the other holding hers as they swayed. "Thank you," Maria said quietly, "for the seat, for making this bearable." "You didn't have to do that." "Yes, I did." His voice was firm. "I know what it's like to be alone in a room full of people." Maria looked up at him, surprised by the emotion in those words. Before she could respond, Claire appeared beside them, breathless and glowing in her wedding dress. "Maria, I'm so glad you made it." She hugged her old friend, then noticed James. "And you're dancing with James Castellano?" Her eyes went wide, and Maria caught the emphasis on the last name. "Do you 2 know each other?" "We just met tonight," James said smoothly. "Your friend is excellent company." After Claire floated away to greet other guests, Maria turned to James. "Why do I get the feeling I should know who you are?" He laughed, and it was genuine, reaching his eyes. "Probably because the internet says I'm worth $2.3 billion, give or take a few million depending on the stock market's mood." At her stunned expression, he continued. "Castellano Industries. Tech investments, mostly. We funded about half the apps on your phone." Maria felt her face go hot. I'm sorry. I didn't realize." "Good." He smiled. "That's the best conversation I've had in months. No one asking for investments or pitching ideas or treating me like an ATM with legs. Just talking, like people." The wedding wound down. Sophia fell asleep. In Maria's lap during dessert, chocolate mousse smudged on her chin. James had shrugged off his jacket and draped it over the sleeping child when he noticed her shivering in the evening air. "Let me drive you home," he offered as guests began to leave. "You don't have to." "Maria." He met her eyes. "Please, let me do this. You've given me something tonight, a reminder of why any of this matters. The least I can do is make sure you get home safely." His car was ridiculous, something sleek and black that probably cost more than Maria's entire annual salary. But he lifted Sophia gently into the back seat, and Maria climbed in beside her daughter, cradling her head. During the drive to Maria's modest apartment complex, they talked about everything and nothing: Sophia's love of reading, James's estranged relationship with his adult son, Maria's dreams of finishing her nursing degree someday, James's fear that he'd spent so long building an empire that he'd forgotten how to build relationships. When they arrived, James helped carry Sophia upstairs. At the door, Maria turned to him. "I don't know how to thank you." "You already have." He pressed a business card into her hand. "I know this is going to sound presumptuous, but I'm going to say it anyway. I have a foundation that provides scholarships for single parents pursuing healthcare degrees. I'd like you to apply. No pressure, no strings. Just a chance. Everyone deserves a chance." Maria looked down at the card, then up at this man who'd seen her at her most vulnerable and responded with simple human kindness. Tears finally came, the ones she'd been holding back all night. "Why?" she whispered. James was quiet for a moment. "Because 15 years ago, someone sat with my wife at a charity dinner when I couldn't make it. When she got sick, when everyone else disappeared because cancer isn't glamorous or convenient, that same person showed up. Every day. Drove her to treatments. Held her hand. She died before I could thank him properly." His voice was rough now. "I can't repay that debt to him." but I can pay it forward. We all can. That's the only thing that matters in the end. Did we see each other? Did we show up? 3 months later, Maria received her scholarship acceptance letter. 5 years after that, she graduated with her nursing degree, with James and Sophia cheering from the audience. She never forgot the wedding, where she learned that kindness isn't about grand gestures or wealth. It's about seeing another human being, truly seeing them, and choosing to care. And sometimes that choice changes everything.